In the headlines, police detain Kaduna school teachers over the death of student. Female co-member regained freedom in Zamfara. Residents cry out as military take over school facility, disrupting academic activities. On the foreign scene, Hamas says overnight Israeli air raids killed 55 people in Gaza. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. Now the news in full. Now, hundreds of school children in Gadawa and neighboring villages in the Musa local government area of Katsina were sent out of school as military unit turns the primary school into a military camp. This development was a reaction to the resurgence of bandit activities in the aftermath of the abduction of over 300 secondary school students in the Musa and Duzama local government areas of Katsina State. Here's the report.
Gadawa village, situated along the Dusama-Kankara road, became a perfect location for the military camp, with Gadawa Primary School taking over as a ready-made infrastructure for the unit. The school, according to locals, had about 370 pupils from Gadawa and neighboring villages. However, with the military takeover of the facility, many pupils were forced out of school. On a visit to the area, our reporter gathered that about 70 children were still attending classes in an uncompleted mud house that has neither roof nor doors and windows, a situation that makes their condition of learning deplorable. Lamenting the situation, some of the parents expressed their dismay as they have made several attempts to reach out to the government for help but failed to reach their target.
To abin da dai yake dan damun mu yanzu kuma domin Allah muna buƙatar abu kamar islamoyin nan da ake yi kamar masallacin juma'a da bamu da shi gashi mun sa gini abu ya tsaya mu.
Actually, we used to have about 370 pupils in that school, but unfortunately the majority of them are now just roaming about the streets, while others help their parents in hawking wares. The house where our children are learning is not in the real sense habitable because during the rainy season, children cannot use the building because it has no roof, which makes the whole place muddy. Similarly, the children cannot use the place during the dry season because the heat will be unbearable. Now that we are approaching the Harmattan season, you can only imagine how cold it will be without a roof. The future of this community is bleak as the vast majority of its children cannot obtain a good education.
Yaran nan namu duk bayan da zai a ce dai an zanna ba wani ilimi a kansu shine aka ce to mutanen gari suka hada kai to
we really want our children to be educated, but unfortunately there is no space for them. It is about 3 years now since the takeover following the insecurity that bedeviled our area. We woke up one day only to see that the army had taken over the school and converted it into their camp. We appeal to the government to provide another place for the army or build another school for the children.
Yanda ake tare da shi yanzu duk wanda Allah ya hukunta bai da ilimi.
We have children from Gadawa here, known as Sabon Garin Dan Adi. There is another Gadawa, which is the old village from where our village got its name. Most of them now, especially the Fulani children, have now dropped out. I am appealing to the government to help our children because without education, some of them will grow into miscreants that will in turn harm the society. We first of all sat at our level and discussed the way out of the deteriorating state of the education that young ones are exposed to. We then took the matter to the elders of our community and together we decided to take the matter to the Musa local education authorities after consulting the teachers of the affected schools. But unfortunately, after several attempts, we couldn't get our complaints through.
Another resident of the community, Tasiu Umar, said it was unfortunate that some children who completed their primary school in the area could not correctly write their names due to the poor teaching and learning environment.
Meanwhile, the National Youth Service Corps NYSC has disclosed that one of the female prospective co-members abducted in Zamfara out of the 7 in captivity and the bus driver has been released. In a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Eddie Mogwa, it was disclosed that the release was secured through the help of security agencies on October 20th, 2023, about 12:30 p.m. He said the scheme was confident that with the combined efforts of security agencies, the rest of the prospective co-members still in captivity will be released. Now, the Borno State Police Command has commenced an investigation into the death of the State Commissioner for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement (RRR), Ibrahim Idris Garba. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum's spokesman Isa Kuso has confirmed the State Commissioner of Police was at the house where Ibrahim died in Maiduguri on Saturday, the spokesperson added. According to the statement, Governor Zulum, who received the news with shock and profound grief, mourns alongside the late commissioner's family or the loved ones, friends, associates, and members of the State Executive Council. Ibrahim Idris Garba was the governor's special advisor on special projects before he was elevated and appointed commissioner for RRR at the commencement of Zulum's ongoing second term. A similar event, preliminary inquiries into the circumstances surrounding the death of Master Adebola Akinbride, the 12-year-old boy with the missing intestine who died at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, the suit, commenced on Friday before the coroner, Bola Folarin Williams, sitting at the Magistrate Court for Ebute Meta, Lagos, and the proceedings counsel to the Lagos State Government, Ola Akinde, informed the court that necessary tests and examinations have been conducted on the corpse and confirmed that there is a post-mortem report. He also said the Office of the State Attorney General is aware of letters from solicitors to the father of the deceased seeking to preserve the corpse, while the mother seeks the release of the corpse to have for burial. He noted that the state is not against any of the requests, but will leave the decision on what to do the court. The coroner, in her response, said it may be necessary for the father and mother of the deceased to file their respective applications on what to do with the corpse so that the court can rule on it. In the interim, he urged the court to preserve the corpse since the coroner had already assumed jurisdiction over the matter. The case was adjourned to November 24th for further proceedings. Now, a 19-year-old students of a private school in Kopar Kwembanazware, Marwanu Nuhu Sambo, has been allegedly killed by teachers of the college. The student, who was in JSS3, was reported to have lost his life as a result of severe beating and corporal punishment by the teachers. Confirming the incident, Kaduna State Police Command Public Relations Officer ISP Mansour Hassan said 2 suspects have so far been arrested and more coming. Report.
Rukaya Sambo, a sister to the deceased, said her late brother was asked to repeat his class after promotional examination, adding that the late Marwanu declined to repeat and stopped going to the school.
He was later taken to the principal, where he was stripped naked and further beaten till he could no longer breathe. In fact, he attempted to run away, but the school prefects were asked to apprehend him and bring him back to the principal's office.
Isa Saidu, a relative of the deceased, alleged that the boy was severely beaten by the teachers to the extent that he lost his life. We only heard rumors that our son is dead and had been taken to a nearby hospital, so we rushed to confirm. We met the medical officer that attended to the boy, and he told us that the student was brought to the hospital dead. He explained that his schoolmates confirmed that late Marwanu was given 100 lashes in the school assembly, where his teeth were broken in the process. He called on relevant authorities to take necessary action to bring the culprit to book.
Three persons were reported missing after a wooden passenger boat was gutted by fire shortly after taking off at Kacha community in Kacha local government area of Niger State on Friday. According to Antoine eyewitness Abdul Malik Adamu, the incident happened at about 6 p.m. shortly after the boat finished loading goods and passengers who were retiring to their villages after the weekly Kacha market day. He said the boat operators was powering the engine when it caught fire, forcing the passengers to scamper for safety. Confirming the incident, the leader of the boat operators in Kacha said the boat was burned to ashes along with goods worth millions of naira. He confirmed that 3 persons who are mostly children are yet to be accounted for. Local divers at the boat dock helped in evacuating some of the victims and quickly distanced the burning boat from others. The boat was ferrying passengers to Zakanti, Danbo, and other neighboring communities in Kacha and Age local government areas of Niger State. Meanwhile, the candidate of the Social Democratic Party SDP in Imo State, Bright Ekwembelem, says Governor Hope Uzodinma has performed below expectations in the area of security. Ekwembelem stated this while addressing Imo electorates in Owerri, where he promised a result and people-oriented approach to solving the problems of insecurity. Trust TV's Ajibade Press tells us more in this report.
The fight against insecurity in Imo State has lingered for as long as Governor Hope Uzodinma's administration has lasted. The promise of a result and people-oriented approach to solving insecurity by Ekwembelem is coming at a time residents of the state are in their need of solutions to the many challenges bedeviling the state, especially the issues of insecurity.
I'm coming to represent Imo State for better in Jesus' name. Presently, security in Imo State is 0. We are coming to correct it. And I've answered different interviews and I said security is local. That by the time I get into power, within 100 days in office, I shall restore security in Imo State.
For the SDP, the recycling of old politicians is the major cause of lack of political will and innovation towards delivering the dividends of democracy. They urge Imo electorates to look beyond old politicians who have not profiled solutions, but rather compounded the problems of the state.
There is no big way. The big ways are the masses, and the masses make choice of who they want to lead them. And I'm sure the masses are the people's choice. So there is no fear because the people select. Everybody has equal stake. All the political parties in this election has equal stake. It is the Imolites that decides who governs them. And going by that, and going by the message we have for Imolites, and going by the acceptance we have received across wars, across local government, there is no fear. We are sure of victory come November 11th.
The entire SDP is very glad for such a vibrant man to come out and for contest to stand to win this election. We have no doubt whether he's going to win it. He stands firm and he's going to capture it. Nothing will stop it.
The state chairman of the party, however, reinstated the proposed social contract between the party and residents of the state as a clear indication of their resolve never to renege in their promises.
Governance being in the hands of the youth. No recycled politician. Youth are the leaders of today.
The major problem currently facing the state is insecurity being perpetrated by certain persons believed to be operating under the guise of secessionists, a condition residents of the state said is being mismanaged by the incumbent governor. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Now, the International Rescue Committee, IRC, has distributed relief items to over 500 households affected by the recent conflict in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. IRC Nigeria Emergency Team co-lead Alosa Atiko, who briefed reporters during the distribution of the relief items in Mangu, explained that IRC's assistance extended beyond the provision of non-food and dignity items, adding that the organization is also actively involved in infrastructure projects, including the construction of balls and toilets to ensure improved hygiene and health for the displaced population. Also speaking, the Economic Recovery and Development ARD manager for the IRC, Elias Ushio, revealed that the IRC's intervention encompasses unconditional cash transfers to benefit an additional 500 households, with each household receiving over 100,000 naira per month for a period of 3 months. Responding, Ladi Dana, a district head in Mangu, highlighted the positive impact of the gesture on his community, saying the people of Mangu local government are really happy about the IRC has done. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming off after the break. Jigawa residents address rising cost of living. More news when we return. To stay with us.
Let's take you on a ride through a series of colors, events, concerts, and lots more. Are you planning an event? EventScope has you covered. Make Trust TV your #1 choice to cover your event. Call 080-3591-0553. EventScope, making your event classic. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Trust TV News for latest updates on EventScope.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not a virtue in itself.
Let me finish.
Because there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No. It's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for jam, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV, and here is a recap of some of our top stories. Police detain Kaduna school teachers over the death of student. And female co-member regain freedom in Zamfara. Now to other stories. Muslims in Osun State have been charged to shun divisive tendencies and parochial interest to ensure oneness among the adherents of Islam in the state. The president of Osun State Muslim Community, OSMC, Mustafa Olawi, gave the charge in Osogbo, the capital. He said the recent peaceful transition in the leadership of Osun State Muslim Community is an indication of rare cooperation and understanding among Muslims in the state. Olawi called for unity among Muslims and Islamic organizations in Osun State in order to achieve the goals of OSMC.
The first thing is unity. Every Muslim organizations in the state should unite, fight with one voice, come together, have a team spirit, so that whatever we need, we don't jettison our rights for parochial interests. That is very important. And two, we should make Islam first in anything that we are doing. Once we follow Islam, there will be peace, there will be progress, there will be unity, there will be happiness. But if we just proclaim to be Muslims without practicing Islamic tenets, we are only deceiving ourselves. So what we want to do is that we want to continue trying to enlighten people on the tenets of Islam.
Artisans in Jigawa State have again appealed to the federal government to make sure the soaring price of foodstuff and other essential needs in Nigerian markets come down for the common man to survive the current economic hardship. They made the appeal following the rise in costs of living occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy by the government at the center. Trust TV's Adamwema report.
Residents of Dutse, the Jigawa State capital, are calling on the federal and state governments to do the needful within the shortest possible time to salvage the country, as the rising cost of living is gradually becoming unbearable for Nigerians. The government should think wisely and help bring down the price of fuel so that people will not struggle so much. If you look back, despite the fuel scarcity, the masses did not suffer this much. Those of us that run small businesses are facing a lot of challenges. Our financial strength cannot meet our needs. If we go to markets now, the little money we hold cannot buy much, so we must look for alternative ways, or we give up. Honestly, the poor people are feeling the heat. A traditional cab maker in Yelwawa community says they are tired of promises of putting things in the right direction from the government, insisting that rather policies of the government are creating more hardship for the citizenry through the fuel subsidy removal.
Visit a place of handwork like Mekani village. It's a place where you can have people at least that are having a handwork, about 100 or more than. Now if you go there, the number of people that are having handwork will not be more than 50. Where are they? They left the city.
They noted that the recent federal government rice palliative distribution in the state was not enough to address the challenges of the common man. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
And now away from Nigeria, Israeli launched an airstrike on a mosque in the occupied West Bank, with Palestinian officials reporting that at least 2 people were killed in the attack. Israel's military said the strike on the Al-Ansar mosque early on Sunday killed several members of Hamas and Islamic Jihad who had been using the building as a command center. Footage on social media appeared to show heavy damage to the mosque located in Janine refugee camp, and medics rushing to the scene. The Palestinian Health Ministry said 2 men were killed in strike. Following the strike, some residents received text messages on their phone warning them against collaborating with the Janine Brigade, one of the largest and most popular groups in the West Bank. The messages also said to keep children inside. The strike came as Israel continued its bombardment of Gaza overnight after military officials pledged to step off air raids on the enclave to minimize risks to Israeli troops ahead of an expected ground offensive. Janine refugee camp, which is populated by descendants of Palestinians dispossessed of their land during the establishment of Israel in 1948. And now finally on sports news, Isaac Chamberlain beat Michael Lowen on points to become the new British cruiserweight champion at London's York Hall. Chamberlain, 29, produced a steady and composed performance over 12 rounds. Defending champion Lowen struggled throughout, and all three judges gave Chamberlain a wide points win, 119-11 and 118-11 and 118-111. Lowen slumped to his first defeat in 18 fights, while Chamberlain improved his record to 16 wins and 2 losses. Chamberlain lost a back-and-forth encounter with Bilal Smith last year, 9 months before his British rival won the blue BO belt. An emotional Chamberlain declined to call anyone out after his win, instead saying the victory was a testament to his belief in himself. Still on sports news, Dana White says the UFC is considering signing Michael Venom Page after the British fighter attended his event in Abu Dhabi on Saturday. Page, 36 years, is a free agent after his contract with Bellator expired in July. The welterweight has fought most of Pierre's career in Bellator, but UFC President White opened the door to a switch. Page has a record of 21 wins and 2 losses. Last fought in March, the Breton defeated Goiti Yamauchi via a first-round finish and is considered one of the most stylish stand-up fighters in MMA. Page also attended UFC London in July, and his appearance in Abu Dhabi at UFC 294 will fuel the rumors that he may be about to sign for the MMA promotion. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abraham Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.